I got a question. This was on the internet somewhere, and now hear me out. The full question before you answer. The question is Kodak Black the new DMX? And this is what they mean when they say that. Diehard fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, like, if you love DMX, you love DMX, no matter what he do. You riding with him. Kodak has a very similar fan base. A lot of issues with drugs. You know what I mean? That seems to be very obvious now with the whole Drink Champs interview being really controversial. You know, the Instagram Live his boy took of him, all these things. Clearly struggles with drugs. We know about DMX's history. Had a very rough childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like beyond just normal growing up in the hood type shit. Like, extra rough even for those circumstances. DMX obviously being from Yonkers and like not really having parents for real and like just wild, basically raising himself on the streets type shit. And then Kodak, similar situation, but in Florida. So is that a fair comparison to say that Kodak is the 2024 DMX?
That's hard. That's really hard.
I'm not talking musically. I didn't mention music at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else surrounding them.
Because that's what I first went to. Was like,
yeah, musically, of course, no. Like, there will never be another DMX, but
I mean,
I say
they make a fair argument.
Yeah, they do.
There's a fair argument there. I always felt like Kodak reminded me more of Trick Daddy.
Really? Why?
I always felt that way. Just because of like the way that Trick Daddy came up, kind of how he was wilding a little bit when he came up and everything like that. Obviously, he's chilled out a lot now. But I mean, even still, like in the later years, he was still kind of saying wild shit on the internet and whatnot. So I mean, he was always kind of somebody that, and then they're kind of also from the same place, like not exactly, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So same area. So yeah, I always kind of equated Kodak to Trick a little bit more, but I definitely see the DMX comparisons. I can for sure see them.
My nigga Trick Daddy Dollars, you know what I'm saying? What about you, Allie? What'd you think?
There's somebody else that I'm trying to think of. There's another rapper that I could have sworn I was thinking about the other day that reminds me of Kodak Black, and Kodak Black reminds me of him. I just cannot for the life of me remember. I want to say, unfortunately, I think this person passed away. ODB, Old Dirty Bastard.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
For me, you know, past the music and stuff like that, but like when I think about like the archetypes and like you were saying, rough neighborhoods they come from, drug use, immense talent, unique voices, you know what I mean? Like interesting perspective, like fun, they're different, you know what I mean? They don't always take themselves super serious when it comes to tracks and stuff like that. So like, you know, I feel like he reminds me a lot of ODB, and I also feel like ODB had moments when you could kind of tell like this might have been a red flag, you know what I mean? Where like he was drunk somewhere or turned up somewhere, and people, you know, from the outside looking in were probably like, does he have friends? Like, do people really fuck with him, like, and care about him, the person, or do they just want him to be a rapper and be a character for entertainment, you know? And so I kind of get the same vibe from Kodak, and I worry about him because we know what happened to Old Dirty Bastard, you know? So,
I mean, unfortunately, like, this is like a bad comparison conversation, but if we're just going with the one that I think reminds me the most of Kodak, I think, Allie, you hit the nail on the head with ODB.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Yeah, so hopefully, I hope that the story isn't going to end the same, though. That's the only thing for me.
Yeah, hopefully he learns from it. You know, shout out Kodak for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And whoever is his friends or whoever's in the industry that fuck with him, like, y'all need to do better, please.
Be his actual friend, please.
Yeah, please just
stop letting him go on live.
Yeah, and we just lost too many people like that to drugs, to, you know what I mean? So many talented artists, whether it was hip hop, whatever it was. It's like, I'm just so sick of hearing these headlines of people that, you know, passed because of like things that are preventable. If you had a disease, it's different, you know, I could understand it. But like this stuff where it's like, there is no, it's not really, you know what I mean? Not like you caught a flu bug or something like that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so
No, I totally feel you.
Yeah.
so I do think that it's a matter more of like self-control, you know what I mean, than anything else. But that's just my little take on it. I'll leave it alone.